Welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would join in on Poetry Thursday. It's a new idea that I discovered a lot of YouTubers have been doing for a long time, which is where on Thursdays they share a poem with their audience. And so I thought I would read two different poems today from a volume of poetry that I've been reading lately, and that is The Rain in Portugal by Billy Collins. I love Billy Collins' poetry. I'm pretty new to his work still, and so I'm really enjoying discovering his amazing poems that he has to offer. So today I have two different poems that I really connected with from this volume that I would like to read aloud. And the first one is called The Present. Much has been said about being in the present. It's the place to be, according to the gurus. Like the latest club on the downtown scene, but no one, it seems, is able to give you directions. It doesn't seem desirable or even possible to wake up every morning and begin leaping from one second into the next until you fall exhausted back into bed. Plus, there be no past, with so many scenes to savor and regret, and no future, the place you will die, but not before flying around with a jetpack. The trouble with the present is that it's always in a state of vanishing. Take the second it takes to end the sentence with a period. Already gone. What about the moment that exists between banging your thumb with a hammer and realizing you are in a whole lot of pain? What about the one that occurs after you hear the punchline, but before you get the joke? Is that where the wise men want us to live? In that intervening tick, the tiny slot that occurs after you have spent hours searching downtown for that new club, and just before you give up and head back home? I love that poem. I think it's such a great point that it makes of we all try to live in the moment and we all try to be very centered and present, but it's hard to define what that actually is. It's hard to define what it means to be present because every moment rolls into the next. Every moment's just as fleeting as the next, and it can feel impossible to get your footing. The second poem that I would like to read is called Joy. It's not often that I see the sun rise and set on the same day as I did the other day. It's easy to tell which is which, even if you just emerged from a coma. The rising is a theater of silvery air, and the setting done and imbued by gold. On the morning I'm thinking about, it rose over a low cluster of clouds, then burst forth and lit up the sunny side of everything. And when it went down in a cauldron of molten metal, and seemed to shudder in a foundry of its own making. When I lay in the dark that night, I imagined the sun shining down on Asia, always rising and setting somewhere, waking some people, sending others to bed, as it does in that love poem by John Donne. And I thought of the sun advancing in its own grander orbit, a father taking the family of planets for a ride through the Milky Way. What a brazen wonder to be alive on Earth amid the clockwork of all this motion. This was in Key West. It was January, when the early morning hours can be chilly. I remember putting on a sweater, then stepping out into the deck with the newspaper under my arm and checking out the water and the sky before lighting up a big El Cinco cigar. I love this one also. I feel like it's talking a lot about enjoying the small things in life. He talks about, he remembers putting on a sweater when the mornings were still cold, newspaper under his arm. And it's just those little things, and then with the title being Joy, and the comparisons of watching the sun rise and the sun set, I feel like it's showing how much joy can be derived from what we might consider the mundane or the small things in life. So those are two poems from Billy Collins' collection, The Rain in Portugal. I love this whole collection. There's so many great poems in here. I would highly recommend Billy Collins. He has so many fantastic poems, so many fantastic collections as well. He also has a couple of different books called Poetry 180, where he has kind of curated 180 poems from different poets of all different poetic eras. He has a lot of romantic poets, a lot of modern poets, some ancient poets, and it's really cool to see them all kind of brought together by Billy Collins, and then see how he's connected them all together. Thank you so much for watching. If you like Billy Collins, and if you have any particular favorite poem by Billy Collins, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.